Welcome back to the Hive. In Charlotte, North Carolina, the Hornets are buzzing and waiting for the Chicago Bulls. And just before game time, Mike Summers, the account manager of Bausch & Lomb, has presented the Court Vision Award to Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy had 675 assists and 103 steals and only 132 turnovers, meaning they feel his vision for delivering and protecting the ball is the best in the NBA. Now the Microsoft starting matchups.
Well, Bob, as we see these starting matchups, as they are beside each other, that's how both these teams will line up. But before this series is over and this game is over, you're going to see a lot of different things. You might see Larry Johnson handling the ball with Del Curry and Hersey Hawkins and two big people from Charlotte. Phil Jackson could go to a completely small lineup. It's going to be a chess match to see who can get the best matchups in their favor.
Charlotte Hornets are the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, the Bulls the 5th, but the Bulls are favored to win this series, and I think we all know why. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Tony Kukoc. Jumping center will be Will Perdue with Alonzo Mourning. Our officials are Hugh Evans, Bill Oakes, and Joe DeRosa.
A couple things to look for early. Will Michael Jordan try to post up early against Charlotte to see what kind of double teams they will give him? Will they post B.J. Armstrong against Muggsy? And what kind of defense will the Bulls throw against Muggsy Bogues to shut down his quickness and penetration?
Armstrong matches up on him one-on-one, down low to Alonzo Mourning, trouble handling the ball, swarmed by the Bulls. Armstrong comes away with it. Kukoc and Perdue had their arms up and around Alonzo Mourning. You'll see a lot of that tonight. Kukoc, Perdue, misses the jam, Pippen rebound. Armstrong, Bulls go out in front with a three-pointer from B.J. Armstrong.
I expect B.J. Armstrong to have a very big series. He's played very well against Muggsy Bogues. He finished the season rather quietly. Steve Kerr really was getting the majority of the minutes. B.J. has always played big in the playoffs.
There's the pick from Johnson, the drive by Muggsy Bogues, and the foul.
One of the things that B.J. has to try to do is keep Muggsy Bogues in front of him. That's easier said than done. At 5'3", you can't get your body on him. He's so low to the ground, you really can't get your arm out on him to try to use that forearm. But if he gets in the lane, Bob, he will compromise their defense and force things to happen in there where he can dish to other people. First possession, they go inside the Mourning. You saw Scottie Pippen immediately came down to double team, leaving Wingate to be a guy who will have to make some outside shots with his starting team on the floor.
Bogues 5th in the league in free throw shooting at 88% per game. Hits them both here. We're tied at 2. The foul was on B.J. Armstrong. Michael Jordan, pass inside to Kukoc. Michael faked the shot, and 6'10" Tony Kukoc is really growing into appreciating playing with Michael Jordan.
Well, all you have to do is keep your hands up. Be ready.
Larry Johnson against Kukoc. Johnson's fadeaway doesn't go down, but the tip in from Alonzo Mourning.
That was very close to basket interference on Alonzo Mourning. That ball here, you see Michael in the post. This is what they're going to look for. Is the double team going to come?
The fadeaway jumper goes down for Michael Jordan over Hersey Hawkins. Bulls 7, Hornets 4. Bogues on the drive. Larry Johnson punched away by Perdue. Johnson follows.
You see what happens when Muggsy Bogues gets inside, Bob. He's got the penetration to Larry Johnson.
Pippen penetrating left hand. He draws the foul. It's on Alonzo Mourning.
You know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even last year, you would have said, Bob, that the tempo Charlotte would like to be would be a fast one. They'd like to get the game to 110, 115. Not so this year. They would like to keep it under 100. They're more of a half-court team. They really only have one guy that's a runner now, and that's Muggsy Bogues. They're more of a half-court team. So tempo this game is, if it's fast, it favors Chicago. If it's slower, then I think Charlotte has a better chance.
See the career playoff stats of Scottie Pippen. Gets both of his free throws. Scottie has never been a really good free throw shooter, but he's gotten better each year, and now he's shooting at 72%. We have a 9-6 Bulls lead. First 2 minutes of the first quarter are gone from the Hive in Charlotte. Wingate, a rare offensive opportunity for David Wingate on the floor to play defense, and now he's going to try to play it against Scottie Pippen and commits the foul.
Scottie Pippen is a nightmare matchup for this Charlotte team. You heard Isaiah Thomas and Ernie Johnson talking about it before the game. With Scottie Burrell out at 6'4", David Wingate is no match for Scottie Pippen at 6'7". Scottie's quicker, he's faster, he's bigger, and he's compromising the defense right now by breaking them down. If he gets one more foul on Alonzo Mourning, it really puts them in foul trouble.
Scottie Pippen, quoted in the Charlotte paper, as saying, "I think we will sweep the Charlotte Hornets."
Isn't it amazing how much more confidence you have in the things you can say now with number 45 out there? It's like that movie My Bodyguard. You can say things knowing that Big Brother's there for you.
I feel that way sitting here with you beside me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Bulls up by 2. 9:41 to go, first quarter. Hawkins into Alonzo Mourning. There's the double team. The turnaround doesn't go. Pippen keeps it alive to DJ Armstrong. Michael Jordan. Crossover. And the foul. Hand checking. Hersey Hawkins. Everybody said when that rule was changed to call hand checking more closely, boy, what would Michael Jordan do with it? Well, now you're seeing.
You know what? I thought he used his forearm there. I did not think that was a hand check. If you put your arm out there and use your forearm, you're allowed that little shot there. You just cannot put your outstretched arm. I did not think that was a good call.
Hosting Michael Jordan, the turnaround from 14 feet. Misses this one. Rebound, Alonzo Mourning.
See, Michael really is the Bulls' best post player. That's where they'd like for him to go, because what he'll do, he'll become a passer out of the post if the shot's not there.
There's the double team on Larry Johnson. Bogues reversing it to Wingate. That's for 3. David Wingate with 5 points early.
See, he's going to have that shot. They're going to leave him, and if he can make that, it forces Scottie Pippen to be a little more careful with his double teams in on Johnson and Mourning. There's another push-off on Hersey Hawkins.
And that's 2 quick fouls on Hersey Hawkins.
See, you can't guard Michael. I mean, you just can't. With this new rule, you cannot play him. It's impossible. Because the minute he rolls off, you see the forearm is there, and the minute he rolls off and you put your hand down, and if that's a foul, it's going to be a long playoffs for whoever plays against Chicago.
Jordan passing inside to Kukoc, blocked by Alonzo Mourning. Bogues gets it from LJ. Almost stolen by Michael. Larry Johnson goes to the left hand, gets the follow-up shot, and he's fouled.
It's pretty easy to see the strategy, isn't it? I mean, Charlotte is taking everything into the paint, and they're either getting a jump shot out of it, out of the double team, or they're getting this kind of action with Larry Johnson going to the basket. And one thing I saw in that possession right there is Larry Johnson doesn't have that same explosiveness to the basket. You're seeing him now use more sleight of hand, trying to take the ball around defenders. He got the offensive rebound and got the foul, so he'll be at the free throw line to shoot 2.
Larry Johnson shoots free throws at a 77% clip. You see his numbers this year, 18.8, 17 rebounds, 26 assists. 7-1 run from Charlotte, and they have taken a 13-10 lead over the Chicago Bulls. Game 1, round 1, Eastern Conference playoffs, down low to Michael off the glass.
In the post, he's deadly. You know, at 6'6", he's got all the moves, he can hang, and if you double team him, he finds the open man.
Michael 2 out of 3 for 4 points early. Hornets by 1, 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Wingate in trouble, down to Mourning. Left-handed hook from Alonzo. Got it off before the double team got there. 3-point Hornets lead. Jordan posting again. Fade away. Not this time. Kukoc stripped away. Jordan kicks to Armstrong. That's a 3.
Now you want to know why their three-point shooting is up? Michael in the lane, hanging, pulls 3 people to him, to BJ, who laces it up, reads the seams, and takes the shot.
Larry Johnson, the pass inside the Wingate and into Alonzo Mourning. And the Hornets are throwing up some good offensive numbers here early, and they lead by 2.
Their ball movement is very, very good right now and crisp. They're finding the open man, and they're not standing. They're cutting to open areas.
Kukoc from 16 feet, not this time, long rebound to Wingate and Bogues. Bogues is liable to go all the way if you don't watch him carefully. Tried to bounce it into Larry Johnson, kicked by the Bulls, new shot clock.
If you'll watch in transition, Scottie Pippen is tracking Muggsy Bogues. So as he starts to go against B.J. Armstrong, they're trying to keep him to the outside of the floor, and if he cuts back, B.J. Armstrong is there waiting for him.
Timeout, Chicago.
The best seat in the house? Charlotte leads by 2, 17-15, 7:02 remaining in the first quarter. We're going to talk a little bit about what Michael Jordan does. You see him get into the lane, and he's going to stop, and he's going to hang. And right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and Muggsy Bogues is somewhere down in there. There's 5 Charlotte guys, and look at BJ standing wide open. He catches it, gets the seams where he wants it, and buries a 3. They're going to get those kind of open shots because of the impact of Michael Jordan and what he does to the defense when he brings the ball into the painted area.
Michael scoring at a clip of nearly 27 a game, nearly 7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game.
See, I really believe that Charlotte needs to run a play here for Hersey Hawkins. Make Michael work on both ends of the floor. They need Hersey to be able to make some shots. Let's see if they can get him off here maybe with a play.
Pick and roll with Muggsy Bogues. Johnson going down deep, and now here's Alonzo Mourning out the high post. Takes a 17-footer and cans it. Mourning can hurt you out there.
Yeah, he can shoot that shot, but Alan Bristow does not want him to live out there. He needs him underneath the basket, and he's got to stay out of foul trouble. He has one. He's got to stay away from that second one.
Alonzo with 6 points early in the game. 4-point Hornets lead. Shot clock down to 7. Jordan in the lane. Finger roll misses. We're going to have a jump ball with Will Perdue and Alonzo Mourning.
There's a little different Michael Jordan on that play. I think 2 years ago, Michael would have thrown that one down. Let's watch this. When he extended, I think 2 years ago, you would have seen him throw that one down. That time he tried to the finger roll. And I think if there's a little bit difference in his game right now, it's his ability to finish like he did once before. That is not back yet.
Tip won by the Hornets, leading by 4 with 6:21 to go in the first quarter.
Charlotte has to be very happy the way they've started this game.
Good balance.
There's Hersey Hawkins. He must look for his shot.
The turnover from Hersey Hawkins. That's the first turnover of the game for either team.
You can't allow Michael Jordan's reputation to take you out of the game. You must make him do it. And Hersey Hawkins has got to look for his shot.
Hand check foul called on Muggsy Bogues by Hugh Evans. That's the 15th foul with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the Bulls, a 73% free throw shooting team, will be at the line the rest of this period.
Well, B.J. Armstrong is, when you look at the stats, almost 89%.
Yeah, he's 5th in the league.
And remember, we talked about in playoffs how important it is to get to that line, Bob. We were doing the New York-Cleveland game last night. And in the first quarter, Cleveland got to the line at the 6-minute mark, ended up shooting 6 or 8 free throws in the first quarter. In the second and third quarters, were not able to do that, and it really was their demise because they could not score from the perimeter. So getting to that free throw line, ultimately very important playoff time because your points come way down.
B.J. Armstrong gets them both, and early he has 8 points. 2-point Hornets lead, just under 6 minutes to go first quarter. Charlotte, North Carolina. Hawkins tries to drive and is fouled.
I think that's very good. I really think Hersey Hawkins has to attack. Even if he makes a couple bad plays, he has got to put the pressure on Michael because if he doesn't, Michael will roam. And he's a tremendous team defender, and he'll get back and bother the post players.
First personal on Scottie Pippen on that play. Mourning's going to take a 3. He misses it. He's taken a few this year. Loose ball foul on Chicago.
That's what you have to be very careful about. If Alonzo starts living out there on that jump shot. You make one, sometimes you say, maybe I can take that second and third. Here comes Robert Parrish into the game, so Hawkins will come out, and now we're going to see a little bit of the big lineup. What you're going to see right now, Wingate moves now to the guard position. Alonzo Mourning swings over to play power forward, and Robert Parrish will move to the center. So this is a little bit of the bigger lineup. We'll see Del Currier later and also Kenny Gaddison.
Parrish will turn 42 in August of this year. Hornets by 2. Muggsy Bogues defended by Armstrong. Down to Alonzo Mourning. Splits the double team. His jump hook will rattle in.
When he plays down there in the paint, that's when he's at his best.
Alonzo with 8 points. Ball is punched away by David Wingate. Muggsy Bogues on the run. As Larry Johnson on the post against Pippen. Can't get him the ball. Pippen all over it. Now the lob down to Larry Johnson. Excellent play from David Wingate.
That was excellent high-low. They fronted in the post, swung it high, passed over the top. Larry Johnson steals.
Today's cars and trucks are more advanced than ever.
Listen, the stuff that we make is powerful. It makes you proud. Stuff that we make, it's powerful. Take it. Listen. Gather up your ideas, run with it. It makes you powerful. Just do something amazing. We're in your corner, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do. The stuff that we make, listen.
Half minutes, LJ scoring on this play.
And they're doing it by going inside, Bob. Watch, Scotty's going to get caught up on the high side, and they're going to swing the ball, and we're going to show you what's going to happen here. As the ball is swung, and Scotty fronts, we'll stop it right there. Now, with this kind of position, you see where Scotty is. This man right here has got to have vision. His eyes are this way. He's got to see this pass and react. He doesn't. And watch what happens now. It's too late. Once Larry Johnson gets it there, he's going to score. So weak side defense, when that ball swings to the top, has to prevent that over-the-top pass.
Now, this is the first time this year, as you see, Larry has 8 points that I've seen. Wennington and Longley playing together at this point in the ball game. Purdue is out. Wennington and Longley are in. Kukoc is also on the bench.
I told you we're going to see a lot of strange combinations before this series is over.
Michael, that's a 2.
You know, Michael's hitting that shot, but his shot's a little bit flatter than it once was, and I think that's just getting your legs into your shot. But you know what? He's shooting the 3 so well. He's shooting it at 50%, actually better than he's shooting from the 2-point line.
Hornets 23-19. Robert Parrish against Bill Wennington. We have the foul on Wennington. That's the team's 5th, and that means that the Charlotte Hornets will be going to the free throw line with 4.5 minutes remaining in this, both teams and the penalty. And Hugh Evans talking to Alan Bristow on the side.
Someone must be cut. They're going to have to probably come out of the game. Looks like David Wingate might have a scratch on his arm, so he will have to come out. The trainer will have to patch that up, so Del Curry will now come into the ball game.
Del Curry, the 6th man here at Charlotte. David Wingate, a defensive specialist who doesn't play nearly as many minutes, about a third of the minutes that Curry does. Curry, of course, the great long-distance shooter. But Wingate came in, put some points on the board, had a couple of steals in the game, scored 5 points, and now while they fix that scratch, we'll get Del Curry.
Well, see, they're going to need production out of David Wingate and also Darren Hancock. Those are the 2 guys who really have stepped in to play the minutes that Scotty Burrell lost when he went down with a ruptured Achilles tendon. Del Curry, we know, is a great 3-point shooter. Had 154 threes this year, which broke his own team record of 152, and he shot it at almost a 43% clip.
See Scottie Pippen handling the ball at the point with Armstrong, Jordan, Longley, and Wennington. Bulls are down by 5. Luke Longley misses the jump hook. Alonzo Mourning with the rebound, his 3rd. Here's Bogues. Curry running off screen after screen, finally gets the ball, finds Jordan in his face.
Del Curry, he's the kind of player you don't want to let him hit his first shot.
Mourning with the jump hook, doesn't go down, gets his own board, takes it back up, the basket goes, and he's fouled. Mourning has his game face on.
We talked about in the open, will it be the big people of Charlotte or the perimeter people of Chicago? Right now, Charlotte's big people are playing terrific. Alonzo Mourning off to a great start. He has 10 points, 4 rebounds. Larry Johnson's out of the gate quickly. They've gotten Parrish into the game, so their big people are playing well. Question is, will they be able to sustain this for 48 minutes? That's going to be a real key because the Bulls are going to keep the pressure on.
Hornets' biggest lead in the game of 7. 3:47 to go in the first quarter. Jordan off the crossover. Gets Curry airborne. Off the glass. Doesn't go. Wennington gets the rebound with the 2 7-footers in there. Longley actually bigger than 7 at 7-2. The Bulls should do a little better on the board.
See, Larry Johnson now matched up against Scottie Pippen, so they'll try to go into the post. Curry will look for the 3.
We lost Jordan on that screen.
That's big. That's big. When he hits his first one, he's the kind of guy that can run off 5 or 6 in a row.
Charlotte, the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA. Percentage-wise, Michael Jordan answers with a 2. Michael has 8.
This game's got a nice rhythm to it.
A little different than the subway brawl we watched with the Knicks and the Cavs in their style last night at Madison Square Garden. Knicks won that game, of course, to go up 1-0.
How about that Seattle Lakers score last night? 96-71. I thought it was a misprint when I looked in the paper.
3 seconds on the shot clock, and Bogues had to take the shot he didn't want. Almost got the steal to Jordan. Open in the corner, Armstrong, off balance from the pass. That's a sight. 5'3" Muggsy Bogues trying to keep Jordan out of the post. He stripped the ball!
He's going to call illegal defense on the Charlotte Hornets, and the fans are not going to like this. Muggsy Bogues. Look at him underneath Michael Jordan.
The fans just now finding out that there's an illegal defense call, but Bogues came away with that ball, and it brought the crowd alive. Alonzo Mourning sits down. Larry Johnson, Robert Parrish, now joined by Kenny Gaddison up front. 2:22 remaining in the first quarter. Longley passing to Winnington. That's a good combination on an inside out. Winnington with the perimeter shot, and Longley in there at 7'2". It's a 4-point Hornets lead. Winnington 2 for 2.
Trying to free Del Curry up. Michael Jordan beat 2 screens. Curry comes to the top. I think he was a little tired by the time he got it. Michael chased him off about 3 screens before he could get open.
Bulls can cut it to 2 or better. Jordan does better. That's a 3 from Michael. He has 11.
And he's hitting his perimeter shot. He really only has 1 post up. It's a good sign for the Chicago Bulls. Michael looks like he's regaining his shooting touch.
Getting him involved, having to play some defense now with Curry. Gaddison is open from the free throw line. Doesn't have that shot just off the bench. He's a rebounding power for the Charlotte Hornets.
But we have to keep our eye on what happens to Charlotte when Alonzo Mourning goes out of the game. There's Michael once again on the 3, but they have got to be able to get Alonzo some rest. It's 5-0 right now since he sat down.
Gaddison to Curry. Long-range shot. Curry doesn't fall. Jordan battling for the rebound with Parrish. There's the foul against Chicago. It's on Winnington.
This is why the Charlotte Hornets got Robert Parrish for the playoffs. And what it will do, it will give them some flexibility. Without Robert Parrish, they're very small. With him, they can go to a bigger lineup. And if he can give them about 20 minutes a game in the playoffs, he can make them a team that might be able to knock Chicago off in this series.
Check it. They're going to give the foul to Pippen, which is very significant because it gives him 2 fouls here with 1:03 to go in the quarter. And Parrish goes to the line. Pippen argued his case and said, you said 33 and it was 34, but to no avail as Pippen has to sit down. Luke Kukoc is back in the ballgame with Longley and with Bill Winnington.
See, what you got right now is you got BJ bringing the ball up against Muggsy Bogues. The Bulls would like to not do that because Muggsy can totally disrupt your offense.
Longley backing in against Paris. He's tough in there. Parrish, however, defensed him very well. Hornets by 2. Look at this. How'd he get in there? Gaddison can't handle it. Double clutch, he travels. Alan Bristow says one of the questions of this series is how well will the wheels hold up on our little man? The health of Muggsy Bogues will be a big factor in this series because, frankly, they don't have another point guard. Timeout, Chicago at 20.
Boy, Phil Jackson very upset at Tony Kukoc that he did not come back and get the basketball. It forced him to use a 20-second timeout. You just cannot lose your concentration in a playoff series. Every possession becomes so vitally important because the scores come way down. Although when you look at the score of this game tonight, 30-28, talk about a 120-point game. I think that would favor the Chicago Bulls.
Charlotte averages scoring 100 points a game, gives up 97. Chicago scores 101, gives up 96. I don't think anybody has to say Michael who. Matter of fact, he's so popular in Chicago these days that Harry Carey on a Cubs telecast called Mark Grace Michael Grace. Harry's even into it.
Well, now, if he would have said Amazing Grace, I could have believed that. So.
From way downtown, off the mark is Jordan's three. Nobody can run it down.
Now, you say, why that? Because they were going 2 for 1 possession. By taking that shot, it'll enable the Bulls to get the last shot of the quarter, so they'll get 2 for 1. So, although that wasn't a great shot, it enabled them to do what they wanted to do.
Jordan, 5 of 11 so far here tonight.
That's a lot of shots in the first quarter for Michael.
3-second differential in the shot at game clock. Muggsy Bogues finds Del Curry on the baseline.
Quick release.
Knocked out of there by Winnington. 3 seconds. Kukoc, does he know it? The pull-up for 3. Kukoc, count the 3.
Remember how Phil got on Tony? Forget it, Phil. You can go pat him on the back now. That's a big 3. Gives Chicago the 1-point lead, Bob.
Kukoc not a real good three-point distance shooter in the NBA, and he took that one from about 25 to give the Bulls the lead after 31-30. Chicago ends the first period on a 10-1 run after Alonzo Mourning set down. Saturday team. Game 1, round 1, Chicago and Charlotte with a three-pointer at the buzzer from Kukoc. Chicago takes a lead at the first quarter, 31-30. That's after the Hornets went out in front 29-21, and Alonzo Mourning went to the bench for nearly 2.5 minutes.
Well, what we're going to have to see now, when he sat down, they got out-rebounded 6-2, outscored 10-1. Now we're going to watch when Michael Jordan sits, what happens to the Chicago Bulls. What happens for Chicago, as Michael sits, so Scottie Pippen comes into the game, and there won't be that much of a drop-off. So Charlotte is really going to have to watch how they rest Alonzo Mourning, losing 9 points in 2 minutes and 26 seconds.
And they're going to have to look out about how they rest Muggsy Bogues. He's on the bench now, and Greg Sutton, a free agent, is in for Bogues. Jordan keeps it alive. Also, Steve Kerr in for Chicago.
I look for Chicago to really pressure this team that's on the floor, maybe to try to force some turnovers.
3 on the shot clock. Jordan has to throw it up. It wasn't the shot he wanted. Rebound Robert Parrish. Opening moments, second quarter, Bulls up by 1. Sutton handling the ball. Second year from Oral Roberts University, 6'2", into Alonzo Mourning. Jump hook does not go over Winnington and Longley, and Jordan has the Bulls on the move. Into Winnington.
No check out that time by Alonzo Mourning.
Hornets ball, new shot clock.
Very close there between Luke Longley and Alonzo Mourning. They said it goes off Zoe, so Bulls will maintain possession.
Jordan tries to split the defense and is fouled by Robert Parrish. That's his first. First team foul on the Hornets. Bulls have none. We're just 1 minute into the second quarter.
I'm a little surprised here. Phil Jackson has taken Michael Jordan out of the game, and he's come in with Pete Myers. He gives him good defense. So with the offensive people on the floor right now, Alan Bristol concerned about Steve Kerr's shooting. So let's keep our eye on him.
Longley traveled. It was rare in the Bulls championship runs when you didn't see either Pippen or Jordan on the floor. Right now, both on the bench. Pippen with 2 fouls.
Well, you're right, Bob. Scottie used to stabilize that second unit. And now what you've got is you've got 4 bench players and Tony Kukoc. This is a group that really needs to run the offense to create shots. They can't go as much one-on-one.
Myers defending Del Curry, the good outside shooter. Mourning against Luke Longley. Gives up about 4 inches. Left-handed hook won't fall. Parrish in there. Charlotte playing very big right now. New shot clock. Sutton with the pick and roll from Parrish. Parrish from the baseline. Gaddison loses it out of bounds. Chicago ball.
Big front line right now for Charlotte. They'd really like to hammer the offensive boards. I think Alonzo Mourning can take his time a little bit more on his shot. I don't see a shot blocker out there, and Alonzo's rushed his shot into the lane a couple times. I think he can gather himself and get into a little bit better rhythm.
There isn't really a shot blocker on the Chicago team.
That's true, other than Scottie Pippen. He blocked 89 on the year.
He's on the bench with 2 fouls. Bulls still up by 1. Both teams 0 for 3 in this quarter in 2 minutes. Open man is Kukoc from 18 feet. Loose ball foul. If that's on Alonzo Mourning, and it is, it's his second personal.
It's a loose ball foul.
The foul is on Mourning. That'll be 2 on him, and that could be significant. Bulls continue to lead 31-30. Neither team has scored in this quarter in just over 2 minutes.
The Nuggets and the Spurs, next on TBS.
A touch of Paris right in the middle of Manhattan. So if you're looking for a new you, drop in anytime at any of their locations. You don't need an appointment, just your Visa card. Because when it comes to your hair and Jean-Louis David, American Express just won't cut it. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Damn you, everyone.
Took the lead on a Kukoc three-pointer at the end of the first quarter. In 2 minutes and 1 second of the second, neither team has scored. And, you know, you'd think about Charlotte, for instance, if they would get worse in offense, that they'd go down in point differential, but not so.
Well, when they were a 6th offensive team, they were a minus point differential. 2nd, they were minus. 4th, they were minus. This year, they go to 15th offensively, but 60th, they're plus. The first time in the history of the franchise where they are plus minus in the point differential, they were a plus.
While we were away, Chicago gets a basket from Luke Longley, 33-30 now. The Bulls with the lead, and Scottie Pippen is back on the floor for the Chicago Bulls, carrying 2 fouls. Thrown away by Del Curry, looking for Larry Johnson all the way across the court, and the Bulls with a 3-point lead. This all started when Alonzo Mourning first went to the bench.
Also, do you see the impact when Muggsy Bogues sets down what it does to their offense? They can't get crisply into their offensive sets.
Kukoc on the drive in the middle, kicks to Luke Longley. Longley tougher inside on the block than he is from there.
See, Sutton's got to give him something.
Tried to give him something there. Long rebound to Kerr, out to Scottie Pippen. This could be interesting. Longley is fouled hard by Gatling.
Transition defense, very, very key for Charlotte, because Chicago right now has become a transition team. Through the last couple years, losing a Bill Cartwright, losing a Horace Grant, where they were a better half-court team. Now they're a team that operates better in the open floor.
So Kenny Gaddison picks up the personal foul, and Luke Longley goes to the free throw line. Longley shoots free throws at an 82% clip. Pretty good for a big man. He's from Melbourne, Australia. His dad played Australian rules football. Don't ask me what the rules are.
Bob, I think you see how Chicago's starting to come up now. They want to get the ball out of Sutton's hands and force Larry Johnson Curry to handle it. Let's see if they can establish Larry Johnson once again against Pippen.
Johnson's going to take the 3, not even close. Rebound, Gaddison, blocked by Longley. Loose ball comes out to Sutton. Chicago on a 14-1 run in the last 5.5 minutes to take this 5-point lead.
They've got to really settle down here in their offense. They're really disjointed right now. You got Zoe popping a 3. It goes in, but I don't think Alan Bristow wants him living out there.
Alonzo Mourning only about a 30% three-point shooter, but he has taken more than 30 this year. For a center, that's a tremendous number of threes. Foul on Kukoc before he got the shot away. It's called on Kenny Gaddison. That's his second.
See, bad matchup there for Charlotte. Kenny Gaddison just does not have the quickness to play against Kukoc. And on the other end, he's not going to pound him inside with his offense. So that right there, that matchup favors the Chicago Bulls.
Don't forget, at the conclusion of the game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game as Kukoc goes to the free throw line, shooting at 75%. Michael Jordan back in. Pete Myers sits down.
You can see come playoff time, the rotations get a lot shorter. Pete Myers maybe got about 3 minutes on the floor, and Michael Jordan right back in. So your starters start playing upwards of 40-plus minutes come playoff time, because very rarely do you play back-to-back games.
Bulls by 3, 8:22 to go in the first half. Sutton in at the point for Charlotte. They're struggling with Bogues on the bench, getting a rest. Remember, he's coming off injuries. Larry Johnson backing in, draws the double team. Alonzo Mourning should have taken that shot. we get the turnover. The Bulls come back with it.
Bob, you made a great point. He passed up an open shot, tried to get a better one, and created a turnover. I don't know, has Hersey Hawkins taken a shot in this game yet?
Not that I recall. As a matter of fact, he has not. And he got those early fouls, and now Jordan calls for traveling. Michael doesn't travel.
Michael looks and he says, wait a second, you don't call that on me.
The only time I travel's in my private jet, he says.
Don't you remember me? I don't think he walked.
Yeah, it's close call.
You know, he pirouetted around there and he kept his left foot down, but Billy Oakes said, no, Michael, that was a travel.
Corey Blunt into the ball game for the Chicago Bulls, number 44, the number one draft choice last year.
Again, I'm going to keep hammering on this point, but Hersey Hawkins has got to look to score.
Good interior pass there from Larry Johnson to Alonzo Mourning, who has 15 points, Bulls up by one. Crowd back alive here in Charlotte. Jordan, that's a two. The hard way.
I guess when you are Michael Jordan, you get those rolls like that. The mere mortals, that ball rolls off.
Bulls 38-35.
Just willed that one in.
See if Corey Blunt can play Johnson, not without the help of Longley. Here's Sutton on the drive to Larry Johnson. 5 on the shot clock.
3-second violation. See, when the shot doesn't go up when it's supposed to, you get people in the lane wanting a rebound. Another turnover.
And Charlotte calls a timeout. Alan Bristow with that look you see on all the coaches this time of year. It's called perplexed.
Dad?
Yeah?
There's something I want to tell you.
What is it, son?
Well, Dad, you're my dad. And I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light, Johnny.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Ray, forget it, Johnny.
Every year, the people of North Africa bear witness to the grueling Paris-Dakar Rally. Last year, we took first place in the marathon class. And what we learned, we put into this year's model. The differences are subtle, but if you look closely, we think you'll notice. The Trooper Limited from Isuzu.
Standing 5 feet 3 inches tall, Muggsy Bogues is an inspiration to every athlete who's ever battled seemingly insurmountable odds.
Guys all over the court. And it's good. Muggsy Bogues.
But Muggsy has some heroes of his own.
You're bad.
He looks up to a special group of athletes who show their courage and determination every day.
Come see these sports heroes in the Special Olympics 1995 World Games this summer in Connecticut.
Chicago up by 3 with 6:52 to go in the first half of play. Coming up next on TBS, Denver just edging into the playoffs on the last day of the year will take on San Antonio. The power out west coming up next. Ron Fulham, Hubie Brown, and Warren Moon will be covering that game. And as many as 45 games in 30 days could be televised on TBS and TNT. NBC kicks off their NBA playoff coverage tomorrow at 1.
Michael Jordan sat for a minute 37. The Bulls still outscored Charlotte 6-3. Remember, Mourning was down 2 minutes, 26 seconds. Charlotte was outscored by 9. And when Muggsy Bogues sat out, Charlotte was 2 for 8 with 3 turnovers. He comes back in and he gets him a layup.
Muggsy Bogues to Hersey Hawkins for his first basket of the ball game. That came off the Michael Jordan turnover.
Very difficult to pressure Chicago because they have really 4 guys on the floor that can handle the basketball. It's a tough pass by Longley.
2 consecutive Chicago turnovers. The Bulls have turned it over 5 times. Charlotte 5 times. And the Hornets have the chance to take the lead as Will Perdue, B.J. Armstrong, and Scottie Pippen are set to return for the Bulls at the next dead ball. Larry Johnson missing from the perimeter. Kukoc stealing the rebound from Mourning after the missed tip-in. Kerr running it for Chicago.
Well, Charlotte's done a good job of tagging Steve Kerr. He has not attempted a field goal since he's been in the game, so they are really paying attention to him.
Kukoc backing in on Larry Johnson, kicks it to Longley.
Luke.
Bulls by 3. Longley with 5 off the bench.
He gives them more of an offensive presence than Will Purdue. Will a little bit more in tune to their offense.
Bogues down the middle to Mourning. 10 on the shot clock. Alonzo.
Tough shot.
In and out of there. Kept alive by Longley. Stolen by Gaddison, but first the wicket. Loose ball foul on Chicago. On Luke Longley as Will Purdue, Pippen, and Armstrong all get back into the game for the Bulls, and they now have their starting lineup on the floor. Except for Gaddison, so does Charlotte.
Yes, Wingate is out, and he has really sat for a long time after getting off to a good start. Alan Bristow has decided to keep pounding away with that big lineup.
There's the double team on Mourning. Open man Johnson misses the 3. Purdue with a rebound.
I think Chicago likes Larry Johnson out there. Rather than trying to post up on Scottie Pippen, they'll take their chances with him shooting 3, although he shot it better this year, shooting 39%. I think they'd like him outside.
Bullet pass inside to Purdue. Blocked out of there by Alonzo Mourning. Phil Jackson wanted goaltending. Bounce pass. Hawkins from Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues comes into the game off the bench, and Hersey Hawkins gets 2 layups. They cannot afford to have Muggsy Bogues or Alonzo Mourning off the floor for very many minutes.
Trying to post up Michael Jordan now. Kukoc handling it out here way out high. He's going to drive and kick to Pippen with 8 on the shot clock. Scotty falls down the Bulls with their 6th turnover of the ball game. Bogues to Gaddison. Oh, what a turnaround when Muggsy Bogues came back on the floor. That's how important he is to the Hornets. They have a 1-point lead.
You tell me a guy 5'3" can have that much impact on a game? Not only on the game, but listen to the crowd. He's got them excited and on their feet here in Charlotte.
On an 8-2 run, timeout, Chicago.
The NBA playoffs on TBS are brought to you by Isuzu and by IBM.
I'll be right back. Okay. The new Trooper Limited from Isuzu is thoughtfully equipped with stuff like dual airbags and extra skid plates, so that you're always prepared no matter where you go.
You may already be a $10 million winner.
Even if it's just down to the corner and back.
Mi amor, parece diferente esta noche.
Que no terminé de tipear el informe mensual de marketing. Es un plomo y me están presionando.
No te lo puedo creer. ¿Todavía no has oído hablar del nuevo software de reconocimiento de voz de IBM? Vos simplemente le hablas y te lo escribe automáticamente.
Estoy anonadada.
And do you take this man for your lawfully wedded husband?
I don't. I'm sorry, but there are things you just can't give me. Like a fadeaway jumper, a crowd chanting my name. I have a dream to play in the NBA. Sorry, honey.
Start with the shorts. Work on the no-look pass.
Don't worry, son. She's got no game.
I love this stuff.
Doug, let's look at the Rodney Dangerfield of centers. Will Purdue on his hook shot here.
Yeah, I thought this was goaltending, and so did Phil Jackson. The ball was out of his hands, and Alonzo Mourning goes up and blocks it. It looked like it was coming down, and this triggers a fast break for the Charlotte Hornets. And Muggsy Bogues, once he comes into the game, he gets them running once again. The recipient is Hersey Hawkins. He gets 2 layups, and then this time down the floor, Muggsy finds Kenny Gaddison out running. So the Hornets getting the crowd excited, and they're doing it a little bit with their defense, but more importantly with the emotional leadership of Muggsy Bogues.
Charlotte on an 8-2 run since Bogues came off the bench. 10 to shoot for Chicago. Now 5. Purdue with 3.
I don't think he knows.
Somebody told him he missed the jumper.
They're running once again. Watch Hawkins in transition. Oh, here he goes. Gaddison.
The lob from Muggsy Bogues.
Kenny Gaddison's just outrunning Tony Kukoc down the floor. Tony not changing ends at all.
Hornets back by 3. B.J. Armstrong's jumper quietens the crowd a bit. Hornets lead it by 1. 3:20 remaining in the first half.
That's experience right there. B.J. Armstrong on the road. Big game. I think a big shot there to sort of break the momentum of the Charlotte Hornets.
Bogues on the drive. Open man. Mourning. Rebound Purdue. Way out in front is Armstrong. Has Michael. He's fouled. And count the basket. Muggsy Bogues got him.
Muggsy tried to take a foul on B.J. Armstrong and couldn't quite get there. Watch this now. B.J. tries to get the foul right there. He can't get it, and he turns and I said, well, I'm going to get Michael. And he gets Michael, but Michael continues on and finishes the shot, a three-point play opportunity. So Muggsy's talking to the referee. He says, call that first one.
Jordan converts the three-point play. The Bulls 44-43. Michael has 16 points with 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Armstrong now back on Muggsy Bogues.
Bob, it's going to be very important now how Charlotte finishes quarters. Remember the first quarter they finished Chicago with a 10-1 run. Let's keep our eyes the last couple minutes here.
Pippen right into the face of Larry Johnson, and Bristow is also off the bench.
Well, it's going to be in the penalty. No, it's not. I'm sorry. That's only the second team foul. That's the third on Scottie Pippen. Judd Bushler running over to the scores table to get into the ball game for Scottie. Let's see right now what happens, Bob. The ball goes inside. Pump fake right there. And Billy Oakes rules that he was not in the act of shooting.
Percy Hawkins on the drive, stripped away. Jordan one-on-one with Bogues. Here comes Mourning. Kicks it to B.J. Armstrong. Misses the three. Hornets run it down.
B.J. never got his legs into that shot. He never was square, really.
And the foul on Chicago.
They still have one more foul to give. Only the third team foul, so they have another foul before you get into the penalty.
Foul on Judd Bushler, his first personal. Bulls up by 2.
Bob, remember we did that game in here against Phoenix in Charlotte, and Phoenix won the ball game by winning the end of every quarter.
Hawkins double clutches. Big rebound in there from Hersey Hawkins, and he draws the foul. That was Kenny Gaddison also blocking off bodies there.
Isn't it amazing what has happened?
Kukoc is third.
Since Hersey Hawkins got 2 layups, he's become much more active looking for his shot. And I think it's so vitally important, Bob, and I keep harping on this point, but you've got to try to take Michael Jordan and wear him down by making him play both ends of the floor. You cannot let him rest on one end, because then he's going to be very fresh to punish you on the offensive side.
Both Pippen and Kukoc now with 3 personal fouls. Purdue goes out, Longley back in. He scored 5 off the bench previously. And also Corey Blunt will get into the game for Tony Kukoc. Remember, Kukoc with 3. Bushler, Blunt, Luke Longley, Jordan, and Armstrong on the floor for Chicago with just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. It's as close as we thought it would be.
And the pace has really slowed after what was at the end of 31-30. It's now starting to creep back to about a 100-point ball game.
Which is what both teams average scoring in a regular season. Hersey Hawkins has 6 points and 4 rebounds after beginning the game very, very quietly. Muggsy Bogues got him involved, and he started scoring some. Tied at 45.
See, Hersey Hawkins has got 2 fouls. Mourning has 2. Very important last 2 minutes, not for either one of those guys to get their third foul.
David Wingate couldn't stop the Jordan jumper. Michael has 18.
But he's only shot 1 free throw. How many field goal attempts? About 15 field goal attempts and 1 free throw in the night.
Shooting from the perimeter. He's 8 for 15 from the floor. The lob into Larry Johnson. The foul on Corey Blunt.
See, Bob, I talked a little bit today about when we were talking to Alan Bristow. We were talking about if you can keep Michael Jordan's points to his shots, then what you've done is you've kept him off the foul line. So Michael has 17 points tonight, or 18, and he has 15 shots. So you're doing a pretty good job of holding him to a point per shot.
Larry Johnson hits the first one. Coming up at halftime, the Reebok halftime report. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios with Zeke Isaiah Thomas. They'll have first half analysis. Recap last night's Lakers-Sonic game. Unbelievable. The Sonics just exploded on L.A. And also Ron Thule and Hubie Brown will preview game one between the Nuggets and the Spurs coming up on the Reebok halftime report. 1 minute, 34 seconds from now.
Alan Bristow has taken Hersey Hawkins and Alonzo Mourning both out of the ballgame. Smart move so they did not get their third fouls.
Armstrong trying to back him on Bogues. They clear the side for him. Open man Longley tried to hit block. Probably should have shot.
Luke has made about 2 or 3 errors in the post where he's thrown the ball way too hard. That's an uncatchable ball.
Tied at 47, 1:11 to go first half. Larry Johnson misses this time. Johnson has 3 rebounds and 10 points. Under a minute. Michael's pull-up jumper doesn't go, but he's fouled.
Boy, Charlotte's very upset. They feel like that Michael Jordan, every time he's getting touched, is going to the free throw line.
Wingate with 2 personals now. Hersey Hawkins got 2 personals very early, so that's 4 trying to guard Jordan. Bogues has 1. That's another one. Michael now to the free throw line.
Well, Hersey Hawkins got 2 quick ones playing him. David Wingate has picked up runners we talked about. Now, again, this is only Michael's second free throw, so you've got to keep him off the free throw line. What we've seen here from Michael, I think, Bob, early in this half, is that he's really looking to get the quick step on you and then pull up and take the shot rather than to try to get all the way to the paint.
Just another day at the office, another walk in the park. Michael with 20 points with 47 seconds to go in the first half. Del Curry beating Bushler. Nice move. Good basket from Del Curry.
They needed that also, too. Every time Mourning is sat down, the Bulls have made a little run.
Working on Wingate. Feeling it, Michael Jordan. That's 22. He's got that look. You know what you used to say when you coached him? When he gets lathered, he is lethal.
Oh, yes. When he's all sweaty and stuff, you say, Michael, just do it. But his shot is so flat, I don't know how it's going in. That thing is like got a tracer.
11 in the quarter, has hit his last 4 shots. We have 5 on the shot clock for the Hornets. Johnson a long way away from the basket. Now 2, now 1. Would have counted, but Longley gets the miss. Michael!
He's disappointed.
Right. His shot
He's
is
disappointed.
off.
That one didn't go in.
A little too flat, you know? At the half, Jordan with 22 and the Bulls with a narrow 51-49 lead. Entertaining ball game from Charlotte. Let's take a break for some commercial messages, then we'll join Ernie Johnson and Isaiah Thomas in Atlanta for the Reebok halftime report. Chicago Bulls behind 22 points from Michael Jordan have the lead at the half. 51-49, and it's time for our Budweiser game summary. And Coach Collins, let me congratulate you again on the Detroit job. I know your news conference coming up tomorrow, but right now, let's go to the game summary. And you talked about big inside Charlotte, Bulls outside, and who would win that battle.
Well, you see points right here. Michael, 22, 9 is 31 points, and you see 25, so 20, so that's about dead even. But things jumps out at me right here. Michael, 17 shots. Scottie Pippen, none. Tony Kukoc, second in attempts at 5. So of the 36 field goal attempts the Bulls took, Michael took 17 of them. Scottie Pippen has got to look to get involved offensively.
Craig Sagers with Alan Bristow. Craig.
Well, as we just heard Doug say, 17 shots from Michael, none for Pippen. Probably the Bulls are going to go to Scottie.
Well, they shoot 50%, and we only shoot 40%. We're only down 1. So I got to look at it. They're going to go to Pippen and probably get to him early. They try to get him off early at the beginning of the game, and David Wingate did a good job on him.
what other adjustments you hope to make this happen?
Well, we'll try to push Jordan more when they isolate him on the right side, a little bit more to the help. We're trying to push baseline early. We have to adjust, make that adjustment.
Okay, Alan, thanks. Back to you, Bob.
The words from Alan Bristow. We heard what he said. Bulls have only a 2-point lead. What about the Bulls side of the story?
Well, I think from the Bulls standpoint, again, they've got to get Scotty involved. But from Charlotte's standpoint, I think for them to win this game, they have to really substitute wisely in the second half with Alonzo Mourning. When he was out in the first half, they lost 9 points. When Muggsy went out, they lost 6. So those two guys vital. So when Alan Bristow goes to his bench, he has to do so where he cannot lose 6 or 8 points off the lead or the deficit where they are at that point in time.
What time's your news conference in Detroit tomorrow?
I think 1 o'clock. I don't even know. It's been such a whirlwind thing, Bob. In fact, I don't even know what time it is right now, really, except game time.
In case anybody's missed the news, Doug Collins tomorrow will hold a news conference with the Detroit Pistons, become the new head coach of the Detroit Pistons. He told us that decision had been made and the agreement reached yesterday on our telecast here on TBS prior to the New York game at Madison Square Garden. And now we're back for the second half. The Chicago Bulls up to 51-49. They have possession.
One of the things the Bulls are going to have to do is they're going to have to do a better job defensive rebounding. 11-second shots for Charlotte. You see Scottie Pippen first play with the dunk, so I guess they have gotten him a shot now.
Somebody must have looked at the stat sheet at halftime in the Bulls locker room. Scottie Pippen was 0 for 0.
They also had 3 fouls, so we have to be very careful not to pick up that 4th, although Phil Jackson's the kind of coach that will keep him in because he knows that Scottie can play with fouls.
Purdue trying to play Mourning one-on-one. Now the double team. Here comes Kukoc. 4, 3, 2. Just before the buzzer, Hersey Hawkins with an outstanding shot inside. 10 on the shot clock. Purdue. This is the lay-in. Rebound, Larry Johnson.
Charlotte would like to run when they can. They want to make sure they can execute it and get right down there to Larry Johnson. That's where he's most effective. Bob, I thought in the first half, as he got a little tired, he started shooting fadeaways rather than going to the rim.
Scottie Pippen now with back in the game, finally got a basket, finally got a shot at the basket. He's going to take another one.
Oh, that's a charge. 4 fouls on Scottie Pippen.
It is a charge as he tried to beat Muggsy Bogues on the baseline drive.
That was a nice play by David Wingate. Scottie had the jumper, and he tried to give a little ball fake. Wingate did not go for it. So right now, Phil Jackson will have to go to his bench, and he will bring in Judd Bushler as a small forward to match up against David Wingate. Excuse me, I guess he'll match with Larry Johnson, so that's a matchup the Bulls should go right to the block.
Tied at 53. Looking for Mourning. Out high. The drive on Purdue, the fadeaway from Alonzo Mourning. Jordan pulls down the rebound. He has 5 boards to go with his 22 points in this game. And the foul on Hersey Hawkins as Jordan tries to drive. Discount the basket. That's 3 on Hawkins. That's his 3rd personal.
They've got to keep Hersey Hawkins in the game. He's starting to come alive a little bit offensively. Once he got a couple layups, became much more active.
Jordan being defensed by Hawkins. Pull-up jumper doesn't fall. Purdue with a rebound. Back out to Armstrong. Will Purdue strong on those offensive boards, and that results in the drive and the lay-in from Tony Kukoc. Bulls by 2.
That will drive coaches crazy. You got a left-handed player. You give him a scouting report, films, everything, and you let him drive to his left hand.
LJ being defended by Judd Bushler. Gets it to Wingate. Over Kukoc. Tough shot.
3 for 3 on the game now. 7 points. So Wingate is out there for defense, but right now he's giving them some added offense.
He has 7 points in this game. Tied at 55. 9:21 to go, 3rd quarter. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bulls running that triangle offense. This time Jordan ends up isolated on the right side with 5. Pull it inside to Kukoc. What a block by Mourning! Mourning rejects it. He's had 4 blocks in this game. Bogues to Wingate. The hard foul from Judd Bushler.
On the last possession, you could see the change in the strategy of the Charlotte Hornets. Alan Bristow also talked about playing Michael a little differently. They pushed him to the middle of the floor, double teamed with Larry Johnson as Michael gave the ball up. Alonzo Mourning with his 4th block of the game. And then once again in transition, this time David Wingate gets fouled. So every time the Hornets have numbers, they're looking to push and run, and they've been able to be successful with that.
I get the feeling this is going to be a fascinating series.
I believe that, and I said it on the opening. I think that it's vital for Charlotte to win this game psychologically. If they lose this game tonight, it's going to be very difficult for them Sunday because they know then they would have to go to the United Center and win 2 just to get back here for Game 5.
Hornets have taken the lead, 57-55. Bulls led it by 2 at the break. Michael Jordan with 22 points in the first half. He's not scored here in the third quarter. Trying to post Jordan, but they sandwich him. Gets the ball anyway. 5 on the shot clock.
See him forcing middle, trying to get the fade.
Purdue kept it alive. Kukoc blocked again by Mourning. Purdue, he's fouled. Mourning has 5 blocks, and Bogues is called for the personal.
See Michael being forced middle now. You see a guy running over to double to get a hand in the face. This will free up the open offensive rebounds. Kukoc once again on the glass, and Mourning there once again to block, but Will Purdue keeps it alive and then gets the foul. So Will Purdue goes to the line to shoot 2.
He shoots free throws at a 58% clip. He's kind of locked in a dead heat for worst free throw shooting center with Shaquille O'Neal. Purdue was an excellent free throw shooter when he played college basketball at Vanderbilt, but has never been able to shoot them here in the pros.
You know, it's like, you know what I compare that to? It's like in Little League, your pitcher's your best hitter, too. And then he gets in the big leagues and he can't even bunt.
57-55 Charlotte, 8:24 to go in the third quarter. Wingate has the shot clock down to 10, looking for Larry Johnson. Not much spacing, but they get the lob into Johnson, blocked by Bushler. Tipped away by Wingate. Errant pass. Bogues on the run. Hawkins. Back from Bogues. Purdue got the rebound over the back.
Alonzo Mourning never even changed ends of the floor that time. He just waited back here. Had Charlotte scored, it would have been fine. If not, he just waited for the Bulls to come back on the offensive end.
Tony Kukoc from long range. That's a 3 for Kukoc. He only shoots 3s at a 31% clip. He is not a good shooter beyond 22 feet.
He's streaky. There'll be nights when he hits that shot. There'll be other nights when he doesn't, but he shoots it enough to where people will honor him out there so he can now make that drive to the basket.
Bulls back by 1. 8 on the shot clock. Looking for Mourning. Here's the double team very quickly.
Alonzo's got to go quicker with it. Bobby's holding it, and what's happening is getting himself in trouble, forcing tough shots after the double team gets to him.
Excellent help from Kukoc. Jordan finger roll. It rattles in because
it's
Michael wanted it to.
How many times have we seen that tonight?
He has 24. 60-57. Bulls. 7 minutes to go, third quarter.
Phil Jackson was upset about something. I don't know what happened. After Michael scored, we have to maybe get a look at that. Did Charlotte not throw the ball in, or what happened on that play? He was very upset.
Something Phil saw. 4 on the shot clock. Larry Johnson looking for a shot. He's fouled inside. When Johnson is down there on the block, that's where he is the toughest. Foul is on Kukoc, and that's his 4th. Kukoc and Pippen both have 4. About Phil Jackson being upset about something. What happened?
I'll show you what happened. After the score, watch what happens. Larry Johnson's going to throw the ball in, and he's going to bounce it. Watch what happens to it. Boom. It goes up and it hits right there. We stop it. This is okay. You can hit there, you can hit to the side or to the top, and it's a legal play. So it was a good non-call by Billy Oakes.
But you see what they were talking about. They saw it bounce there, but to no avail. And after the timeout, the Bulls lead it by 3, 60-57. 6:44 remaining in the third quarter. Larry Johnson going to the free throw line. Kukoc picked up his 4th personal on that call. Remember, Pippen, who is now back in, is also carrying 4 personals for Chicago.
Now you say, is Phil Jackson gambling by keeping Scottie Pippen on the floor? A little bit. But when you play for a guy for about 6 years, what Scottie has, Phil is very confident that Scotty can play with 4 personal fouls and stay away from the 5th. That's where you just have to trust the player to be able to play through fouls.
Bushler and Pippen, Armstrong, Longley, and Jordan on the floor for Chicago. Shot clock down to 10. Pippen. That's a big 3 from Scotty.
See, now you're saying you're Alan Bristow. You go, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Now Scotty's going. He's got a dunk. He's got a 3-pointer. Now he's got 8 points. We had him sort of quiet. Maybe Michael should start shooting more.
Michael with 17 shots in the first half. Pippen had none. Bogues, 7 on the shot clock. Holding his foul. Bailed out down there as he was surrounded. I think Michael got it. That's his first. Jordan with his first personal.
Good patience out of the double team by Charlotte, though. The double team on Johnson. He skipped it across to Muggsy. He had the open shot, but he pumped it inside to Mourning, who was able to get fouled and go to the free throw line. Muggsy could have had the shot, but that's where you have the patience to get the ball and pump it inside. Remember, it's the battle of the big versus the battle of the perimeter, and Charlotte has to win that big.
Chevrolet scoreboard. Take a look at the other action. Coming up right after this game, by the way, we're going out to Ron Thulin and Hubie Brown on TBS, and then TNT's second game. We have our quadruple header going, remember. The multiplex telecast of the NBA playoffs from Turner Sports on TBS and TNT. The weekend coverage coming from NBC. They begin their play at 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow on NBC. And Michael Jordan from 18 feet with 5:48. It's 26 points for Jordan.
Charlotte has to be very careful not to let the Bulls build up an 8-9 point lead.
Bogues lost it. I think Armstrong punched it away from behind, and we're going to get a jump ball. Muggsy Bogues is an amazing athlete. You know, it's an old cliche to say he's short, but he's not little. He is not little. This man is made out of granite.
Well, he's 5'3", and he dominates the game. I mean, he's given an award for the Boston Lahm Award for the court vision, and in the first half he had 9 assists with no turnovers, and when he came back into the game, he sparked his team. They were very flat and could not get into the offense without him.
Pippen isolated. 8 on the shot clock. Bushler gets the pick from Scotty. Michael with 5. We've seen this a lot. Over 3 players, not this time. Rebound, Alonzo Mourning. He has 6 boards.
Got to go to the post. Johnson against Bushler. Get the double team. Swing it out. Maybe Hersey Hawkins can get a 3. Let's see if they can skip it across.
Wingate's going to penetrate and shoot the 17-footer.
Oh, is that 5 on Pippen? That's the 5th foul on Pippen.
Scotty Pippen.
Wow, that is a major, major play. Just as I was saying, Phil Jackson was gambling. He put Scotty in, what was it, at the 6:44 mark with 4 fouls. And Scotty gets number 5. Now, I know Phil's got to get him out now. We come in with Pete Myers. Well, look at the small lineup Chicago has on the floor right now. They basically have 4 guards and Luke Longley. Bushler, Myers, Armstrong, Michael Jordan, and Luke Longley. So Michael Jordan has gone from guard to power forward with this attack.
Wingate at the line. Trailing by 5 are the Hornets. Wingate comes to 4. Well, the good news is Pippen's on the bench for Charlotte. The bad news is Jordan will shoot more. Trying to post Jordan. 10 on the shot clock.
They're going to start looking for Michael. They have to be very careful.
Longley missing. Out of bounds off Judd Bushler.
One of the things this group has to be very careful is not to defer too much to Michael, to let the clock wind down and then throw it to him to make him do something with it.
Myers, good defensive player on Hawkins. Now Larry Johnson gets the double team from Michael. Loses the ball, got it back. Blocked from behind, Jordan out of bounds. It'll belong to Charlotte with 6 on the shot clock. Michael Jordan was a defensive twirling dervish on that play.
Bob, in 1988, when I was coaching the Bulls, Michael Jordan blocked over 100 shots, had over 200 steals, averaged over 35 points a game, and was the MVP of the league. So the guy is one of the greatest defensive players to ever play the game in his position, at the same time have enough energy to give you 35 points. Magnificent.
Bulls by 2. 4:02 to go in the third quarter. Pippen on the bench with 5 fouls for Chicago. Excellent Charlotte defense. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 4. Bushler's going to have to take the long-range shot and just barely drew iron. We've got a foul against Charlotte.
That's going to be, is that 3 or 4 on Alonzo?
Alonzo Mourning just picked up his 3rd personal foul.
Now, if you're Alan Bristow, you're thinking, at what point in time can I get Mourning a little bit of a rest here? You're either going to have to use your timeouts or you're going to have to rest him right at the end of the quarter so you can bring him back. So maybe he misses 2 minutes of the game and gets a 5 or 6 minute rest.
Chicago calls timeout. Their lead down to 65-63.
Sunday nights this fall. The NFL is on
63. That was the margin of their lead at the half with 3:44 to go in the third quarter. Alonzo Mourning stays on the court. Doug was talking about trying to find time to rest him. When that happened in the first half, Chicago went on a tear. And by the way, Scottie Pippen got no shots off in the first half. In this quarter, B.J. Armstrong has not attempted a shot.
You know, the Bulls' offense has been a little disjointed tonight. They really have not found a rhythm where the shots are being evenly distributed. But come playoff time, you expect your big 3 to take most of the shots. Michael's taken 22 shots here, and we have about 3:40 to go in the quarter.
Foul's going to be on David Wingate holding Jordan, and that's 3 on Wingate.
That's the 4th team foul. So both teams in the penalty for the rest of the quarter.
Michael Jordan, we'll get a close-up shot of it eventually, you know, is sporting a new playoff goatee that you'd want to
I wonder how many kids will start growing one of those now. You can count on that.
Only kids over about 18 now.
I still can't grow one.
Myers from 17 from Jordan. Now, Pete Myers has that shot, and he'll go down in history as the man who replaced Michael Jordan in the lineup when Michael retired and now playing alongside him again.
Well, again, the ball goes into the post, they double team, and they give Pete Myers the jump shot.
Bulls by 4. Larry Johnson finds the open man. They reverse it to Muggsy Bogues.
That's big. He's got to make those perimeter shots because the Bulls have to come down and get the ball out of LJ and Zoe's hands, and when they do, those guards must deliver shots.
Muggsy only has 4 points in this game, but he has double-digit assists. Michael with the pull-up jumper. Rebound, Larry Johnson, stolen by Myers, and then knocked out of bounds. It'll be Charlotte ball.
Michael showing some signs, I think, of a little bit of a fatigue. He held that ball about 3-4 seconds and then just went up for the jump shot. So Phil Jackson's got to think about maybe giving Mike a little rest. The problem you have with Scottie with 5 fouls, you don't really want both of them sitting at the same time, so he's got a little bit of a dilemma on his hands right now.
Pippen on the bench with 5. Whittington trying to get into the ball game for Chicago. 10 on the shot clock for Hawkins. Defended by Myers. Myers got a hand on that. That's why the Bulls have the ball.
Judd Bushler's doing a nice job against Larry Johnson, just banging and trying to take his space away on the floor.
Longley open for the jumper. In and out of there. Chance for Charlotte to tie with 2:16 to go in the third.
I think you'd like to see Robert Parrish go to the post against Michael Jordan this time down the floor. Michael playing against Parrish.
Michael with the turnover. Bulls have the number. Bushler tap pass back to Armstrong. Over Larry Johnson. Bulls wasted that fast break opportunity.
Now, all Muggsy needs to do is come down the floor and drop the ball inside to Robert Parrish. Michael Jordan is playing him. All he has to do is turn around and shoot the ball. Let's see if they can get it done here.
They do it just now because they've isolated above the line Johnson and Mourning. They kick it out to Johnson. He doesn't get it. And Michael Jordan comes away with a rebound.
LJ and Alonzo back out on the perimeter once again.
Bulls ball, 18 on the shot clock. Wennington's going to come into the game for Judd Bushler. So the Bulls get a little bit bigger here after Charlotte got bigger. Charlotte has Alonzo Mourning and Parrish and Johnson up front.
See, Judd Bushler gave the Bulls very good minutes.
Wennington. That was blocked by Mourning. His 6th block. that'll be 4 on Hersey Hawkins.
I think Michael likes these new rules.
Yes, he does.
Last year, this was not a foul. This year, you get your hands down right there. When you reach out and grab, it's a foul. You know the problem you have with that is when you've played like that for 5 or 6 years and a guy starts to go, you automatically put your hands down on him. It's just an instant reaction, and it takes about 2 or 3 years to break that habit.
Michael Jordan has 26. Make it 27. 1:19 to go in the third quarter. Steve Kerr in. B.J. Armstrong will get a rest. Steve Kerr, the leading percentage shooter in threes in the NBA.
See, now Alonzo Mourning's going to get the last minute and 19 here of this quarter. Then he'll get the whole timeout. So it's a good time for Alan Bristow to rest him now. 69-65 Bulls.
Kerr will try to guard Muggsy Bogues. He's an inspirational player. Curry to Johnson, who's got the much larger Remington on him. 10 to shoot. Bogues is going to launch the long rebound to Parrish. Back to Bogues. New shot clock. Under a minute to go in the third. And there's a hand check foul on Pete Myers.
Now, is Larry Johnson going to shoot the 2 free throws, or is Del Curry? Do they call it on the screen, or do they call it on Curry? That could be a big play because Curry is an excellent free throw shooter.
Curry shoots free throws at 86%, Johnson at 77, and it's going to be Curry. For the first time now, Ron Harper is going to come onto the floor, probably to get Michael Jordan out with 53 seconds to go in the third, so Phil Jackson doing likewise with Jordan as Bristow is with Mourning.
Yeah, you get the 53 seconds, however long it takes to play that now, and then you get the timeout between the quarters. So in many instances, you can buy extra minutes for your star players so they don't have to miss much playing time.
2-point Bulls lead. It's been that way since the half.
And the scores come way down. Remember, it was 31-30 at the end of one.
Longley with 8 on the shot clock. Who to go to? Jordan on the bench. Kerr, 3. Myers from 17. It would have counted. Big rebound from Longley, and we've got a jump ball.
Charlotte has really done a good job of tagging Steve Kerr tonight. He has not attempted a field goal. Alan Bristow was very concerned about his shooting, and they've also done a good job now with B.J. Armstrong. He was 3 for 4 in the first half, and he does not have a field goal. So when you look at their 2 better perimeter shooters, neither one of those have got a shot in the second half that has gone for them, and Kerr's not even attempted one in the entire game.
Longley. Kerr has it. And the shot clock and the game clock are almost identical now.
Spread the floor.
Looking for the last shot up by 2.
If Larry Johnson will double team, Harper will get the shot. So be aware of Ron Harper here.
May has to take the shot anyway. Gives it to Winnington. Big bucket from Bill Winnington with 1.8 to go in the quarter. Curry with the prayerful shot, and the Bulls, after playing 12 minutes in the third quarter, increased their lead by a grand total of 2 points. Pippen with 5 fouls, and Michael Jordan resting with 28 points. By quarter as we enter the final 12 minutes of an intense playoff game, and Craig Sager has some interesting news about Muggsy Bogues.
Well, Bob, after injuring his knee, Muggsy Bogues played only 9 minutes in the Hornets' last 5 games. He had 9 assists, no turnovers in the first half, but third quarter, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. He's definitely hurting. He told the coaches he needed a rest. They came over and talked to him moments ago. He's got the knee ice. He wants to go back, but he is definitely in pain. He has aggravated the injury.
And he aggravates it really every time he plays. As Alan Bristow said to us today, Doug, The question will be how much pain Muggsy can play through in the series.
Well, that's how injuries really affect playoff series. I mean, they're out there without Scott Burrell right now. You have Muggsy Bogues banged up, and we know that their offense does not run smoothly without him in the game, so they're going to need to get him back as quickly as they can.
The foul was on Longley, and then they get it into Alonzo Mourning, who has his way against the double team, as the Bulls are quite big with Longley, Wennington, Kukoc, Myers, and Kerr on the floor.
How much time will Phil Jackson be able to buy with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen both out of the game? Now remember, Pippen has 5 fouls.
10 on the shot clock for Kukoc. They need him to step up offensively here. Kicks out to Wennington. 3 seconds. Myers from long range. Bulls with no go-to guy on the floor except for Kukoc, who passed up the offensive opportunity.
Well, this team has to really run their offense. They have to run it to perfection. They have to screen for each other. They cannot let the clock work down against them because there's no one to create a shot out there.
Down to Mourning. Defense by Longley. Help from Kukoc. Beat Longley quickly inside to Robert Parrish. That's a tough tandem. Mourning and Parrish. The Chief and Gaddison. They've got 2 power forwards and a center on the floor right now, so they have gone very big. Tied at 71.
Myers got away with a walk.
And the foul on Charlotte.
Now remember now, Bob, we always talk about fourth quarter, the importance of not getting early fouls, especially when you're playing Michael Jordan. You have to have some fouls to waste in the last 3 minutes of the game, because if you're in foul trouble, you will not be able to guard him without putting him on the free throw line.
Both teams with 1 team foul with 10:25 to go in the game. Bulls looking for offense and leadership from somebody. Pippen and Jordan on the bench, Longley from Kukoc, and it's a 73-71 Chicago lead.
Luke has been pretty offensive-minded tonight. He's taken more shots than I've seen him take most of the season for Chicago.
Longley has 7 points. That was a ball kick. They'll reset the shot clock with 10:05 to go in the game, and Charlotte gets a new 24. Looking for Mourning. A quick double team, and the nice pass down to Gaddison. Foul on Wennington.
You can see what's happening right now with Charlotte. They're going inside. They're reading the double team. Whoever is doubling, that man is cutting right to the basket and stopping right in the front of the rim. And the ball pressure from Chicago does not prevent Alonzo Mourning from looking right over the top and finding the guy.
Timeout, Chicago.
The Bud Light Amateur Beach Challenge. They're lean. They're mean.
They're killing us. Yeah. How about 2 out of 3?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
What's wrong with her?
make it a Bud Light.
Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, I've got this.
Let's have a look at the Dutch boy in the paint, and once again, let's match the Bulls' outside power versus the Hornets' inside, Doug.
Well, you got 36 and 11 is what 47, and 34 and 4 is 38. So right now, the outside people winning that battle. Chicago up by 2. I think it's going to be very important again as we come down to the end of this game. If Chicago stays closer in the lead, remember, they're going to be able to come back with Pippen and Jordan fresh to finish this game. So I believe that Charlotte, at this point in time, has got to push together maybe a 4, 6-point, 8-point spurt to give them a little cushion so that when Michael and Scottie come back in the game, that they'll be able to hold them off. It's going to be a great finish, Bob, and it's going to be a real chess match to see if Allen stays big and Phil Jackson can counter some of the smaller teams.
Gaddison ties it. We understand from the Charlotte trainer, by the way, Chip Schaefer, the Charlotte trainer, Terry Koffler, that Bogues will be back in the game. They think he'll be able to come back in despite the sore knees. Of course, Chip Schaefer, the Bulls trainer, Kukoc on the drive against Parrish. Kicks to Longley. Chance for the Hornets to regain the lead.
Well, you know what Charlotte's going to do? They're going to go down, and they're going to throw the ball in the post. It's either going to be Mourning, or Gaddison, or one of these guys are going to post up. They're going to get the double team, Oh, an offensive foul on Gaddison.
That's his third.
Well, that's a bad foul right there by Kenny Gaddison. Michael Jordan coming back into the game now for Pete Myers.
.27 remaining, tied at 73. Bulls have 2 team fouls. Hornets have committed only 1. Jordan off the screen. Curry in his face gets the pick from Kukoc and the foul. It's on Gaddison.
That's one you can't commit. Remember, you've got to save fouls. You can't waste them in the fourth quarter. Michael will be unguardable in the last 2 minutes if you're in foul trouble.
Now both teams with 2 team fouls. Gaddison just picked up his 4th on that play. New shot clock for the Bulls. Sideline out of bounds with 9:13 to go. Larry Johnson back into the game as Gaddison sits down.
You know, we really haven't even said anything about Kenny Gaddison. His career looked like it was going to be over this year, Bob. He fractured his neck. He had a fusion, was back playing. It's a remarkable story when you think about it.
Wennington open on the baseline. He's missed from there twice tonight now. Alonzo Mourning gets the rebound. Hornets, an opportunity to take the lead with Muggsy Bogues still on the bench and free agent Greg Sutton running things.
Here's a double team. There's the cut. There's Mourning to the basket, and he gets the foul. We know what they're going to do. Can the Bulls stop it?
I don't think the Bulls can stop it unless they play Scottie Pippen. And you brought up the point a minute ago. Scottie Pippen with 5 fouls. Longley picked up his 3rd there. Is on the bench. When does Phil Jackson commit Pippen to the floor?
Well, the game is still tied, and it's 8:49. So if you could, you'd like to buy it to maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. The only way I think he would bring Scottie back in sooner than that, Bob, is if he felt the game was slipping away from him. Right now, that's not the case. The Bulls are within 1 possession.
Both of these teams, by the way, tied. They both won at home. They tied 2-2 in the regular season series. When it's tough to gauge on that because Mourning missed, 2 games? Well, yeah. Michael only played in 1.
Yeah, Michael missed both games here, and Mourning missed both games in Chicago. So really, that's a wash in terms of, you lose both your best players. So totally different series with different people.
Hornets by 1.
An offensive foul on Wennington. I think they're going to call it on Sutton, though.
Yeah, Wennington stepped into that pick. Sutton ran into him, and it's on Sutton.
Watch Wennington throw his hip out right as he starts to come around. Watch him put his left hip out right there.
Yeah.
That's a foul.
Team fouls even at 3 apiece now. As Doug tells you, that's going to be close. Jordan pulls up over Curry. Michael was 2 of 6 in the 3rd quarter. Only had 6 points there. He now has 30 in the game.
I know it sounds crazy, but you'll live with him taking that shot.
Curry, long range, 3.
Michael got caught up on the screen, went high side. Curry read it, faded right back to the corner.
Hornets by 2. Jordan, it's going to become his time, you know that. Nice pass inside to Kukoc. Ran around down inside. Larry Johnson never saw him.
Charlotte just cannot have defensive breakdowns right now. You start focusing so much on Michael, you forget the fact that there's other guys out there can score. Here comes Curry once again. They're going to try to make Michael guard him off some screens.
Mourning from 15 feet rattles it home. Hornets by 2. Mourning has 21. Jordan basically playing point guard here. Turns over the ball. Mourning on the run. Curry's going to take the 3. Follows. Loose ball. A foul. Defensive foul is going to be on Chicago. That's the 4th team foul against the Bulls. The next foul they commit, they will be in the penalty.
Alonzo Mourning's got to be very careful now, okay? He's a little emotional, and he's talking out to one of the players. Remember, last year, he got ejected in a big game playing against Luke Longley when his team lost the playoff chase by 1 game. He's been much better this year playing under control and channeling that emotion in the right way.
Hornets by 2, 7-11 to go in the ballgame. Curry's going to take the 3. Rebound, Jordan.
Well, they're really trying to work Michael, though. They've run him off 2-3 screens the last 3 times down the floor.
Jordan knew that he could get a foul if he elevated right there. And that's the 4th personal foul on Alonzo Mourning.
See Scottie Pippen on the Bulls sideline. He's really up and down. He's trying to stay into this game. Michael with that pump fake. Michael, all he has to do is raise his eyebrows and everybody in the building stands up.
You got to quit doing that. You're standing up.
I know that. I was up on that one.
When you're coaching Detroit, you're going to be trying to defend Jordan. That'll be interesting. You coached him, and now you get to deal with him.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Michael is flawless at the free throw line, 6 for 6. He ties it at 79 with 7 minutes remaining in the game. Pippen, with 5 fouls, has been on the bench the entire quarter.
Muggsy Bogues is going to come back into the game right now. It's going to take him a little while to get loosened up. He's been sitting for about 5 minutes.
Sutton with the penetration, ball loose down there, out of bounds. Charlotte ball, 11 on the clock, and here is Bogues. You can see as he comes into the game that Muggsy Bogues is stiff. Charlotte gets a timeout, chance for him to stretch, I guess. 79-79, 6:47 to go.
The Nuggets and the Spurs, next on TBS.
It's tied at 79, 6:47 to go. Michael Jordan has 32 points. Playoffs are his time, but they were also the time of Kareem, Jerry, Larry, and Robert Parrish, who's 42 years old come August. Michael, in this ball game, has 32 points. He's 12 of 24.
This next 6:47 is the most important 6:47 of the season for Charlotte. It's going to be, we're either going to hold the home court advantage or we're going to get back to Chicago the first game.
Curry looking for something on the perimeter. Jordan with his hands on him.
Got to get it up.
Bogues, long range. He did not beat it. That's a shot clock violation. Remember, at the timeout for Charlotte, there was only 11 on the shot clock. They probably didn't really consider that mentally when they were playing and thus missed the opportunity. Bulls now with the ball.
Well, Del Curry was chased off of his shot by Michael. See, when Will Hersey Hawkins come back into the game, I thought he started getting it going pretty well.
Tied at 79. Kukoc all the way.
Goaltend.
That's goaltending on Alonzo Mourning. Count the basket.
And you know what? That shot had no chance to go in. That shot was going to go hard off the glass. Tony was going to his right. Now watch this play. It's going to be a nice little screen roll. Tony turns it going going right. That shot was hard off the glass, but it was goaltending.
Mourning has 6 blocks in the game, so he's kind of feeling it in that area. Bulls by 2, 10 on the shot clock now. Larry Johnson trying to back it in. Mourning, that's a 3. Alonzo Mourning with his second three-pointer in the game. Hornets by 1. Alonzo has 24 points.
I can just hear Hubie Brown right now.
Jordan! Oh, baby! Michael Jordan on the drive and the reverse.
I can hear Hubie saying when Alonzo Mourning's shooting three-pointers in the clutch, that line is way too close.
34 for Jordan now.
There he goes again, spotting up once again for another 3.
That's 3 threes for Zoe, and that's his number.
Luke Longley's going back to double team and just leaving Mourning.
Jordan with a crossover dribble, off to Kerr. Best three-point shooter in the NBA, drains it. What a ball game we're witnessing here in Charlotte. Bulls by 1.
That's Steve Kerr's first shot of the ball game, and he drains a big 3.
From about 25 feet, 5:11 remaining. Both teams will go to the penalty on their next foul. Mourning throws up the prayer. Wennington in there, and the Bulls, big size helping here. They have to play Wennington and Longley to counter Parrish and Mourning.
Remember now, any fouls, free throws the rest of the way. You get your hands on Michael, you're in trouble here.
Back to Michael.
You got to run with it. You got Michael laying on the floor. You have numbers. Curry's open for 3.
Muggsy Bogues open from about 12 feet. Hornets take the lead by 1 with 4:36. Timeout, Chicago. Alonzo Mourning, Michael Jordan, and Muggsy Bogues have been the men in this game.
Well, Alonzo Mourning gets back-to-back 3s. Luke Longley goes back to to double team. He frees up Mourning for back-to-back threes. And then Michael Jordan, this is really the most spectacular shot we've seen from Michael in this game, the wraparound left-hander. And then Michael falls down on a jump shot, gets no call. Steve Kerr has to cover for him, and Muggsy Bogues gets the open shot. This could be one of those games where the last team to have the ball will win the game.
And Scottie Pippen with 5 fouls is coming back into the game. It'll be Longley, Pippen, Kukoc, Kerr, and Jordan on the floor with 4:35 to go. Both teams have committed 14 fouls. They'll be shooting on the next foul. Jordan open in the lane. Who lost it? Oh, that's deadly.
Simple little rough cut. Bulls executed perfectly.
36 for Jordan. Bulls by 1. No team has led by more than 2 points in the fourth quarter.
It's going to come down to execution. Who can get good shots and get to the foul line.
Muggsy Bogues on the drive, kicks it inside with 2 seconds on the shot clock. It rims up and Mourning is there for the rebound and the jam. He has 29. Oh, baby. 13 in the quarter for Alonzo Mourning. Jordan isolated against Hawkins. From 13, not this time. Pippen almost committed his 6th foul there.
That's a big possession right here. This would put Charlotte up 3.
There's Pippen defending on Mourning. Kukoc near steal. Hawkins. Ball fake out to Muggsy Bogues for 19. Rebound loose. Pippen punches it loose. Bogues runs it down for Charlotte. 3:10 to go. Hornets by 1.
Bob, this is a great game. This is a great basketball game.
Everybody on their feet here at the Hive. Into Gaddison. Longley with a rebound, but first the penalty. The foul on Longley, and that'll be 4 on him.
That's a great cut off the ball by Gaddison. He slashes right in front of Luke Longley, who bumps him and gets the foul. Now, Kenny Gaddison on the season, a 61% free throw shooter. We always talk about the importance of making free throws in playoff situations, and he steps up and buries the first one. That's a very big free throw.
He's 3 for 3 tonight.
Again, Bob, we have not talked really about the courage of this young guy. A lot of people felt his career was over when he injured his neck, and he was able to bounce back. And if the Charlotte's able to win this series, he could be a major key because he allows them to have another big body.
Hornets by 2. 2:50 to go. Jordan! Foul before the shot. That'll send him to the free throw line. It's on Alonzo Mourning, and that'll be his 5th. So now Pippen and Alonzo both with 5 fouls, and we have a lot of time left. 2:47. Michael Jordan has not missed from the free throw line tonight. He has 36 points. He is 7 of 7 from 15 feet away.
Remember I talked about burning fouls and allowing Michael Jordan to get to the free throw line. Michael Jordan has always been an 85+% free throw shooter at the end of games. And this is why you've got to stay out of the penalty when you play against Chicago coming down the stretch, because you can't guard him. Now, what's the importance of this game, Bob? 93 of 116 winners of Game 1 in a best-of-5 have gone on to win the series.
It's tied at 90. 2:45 to go. B.J. Armstrong in for Steve Kerr. He'll be matched up with Muggsy Bogues now. Screen and roll with Larry Johnson.
I tell you who's going to get the shot. Muggsy Bogues. He's going to have to make open jump shots.
He
right
got it
there.
He missed it. How about the comeback from Gaddison? Hornets by 2. Kenny Gaddison has 6.
No 3-point plays if you're Charlotte.
Gaddison all over Kukoc. On the drive, the dish. Longley. Nice play by Kukoc.
Boy, he drew 2 players to him. They call him the waiter because he serves everybody up on the offensive end. You saw a great one there.
Tony, the waiter, Kukoc from Croatia, tied at 92. Minute 52 to go.
Muggsy Bogues is going to have to make a jump shot. I'm going to tell you, they're going to double team, and he's going to be the man that's free right at the top of the circle.
Now they give it to Mourning. He's hit 3 threes.
No, that's no good. He's busted his rhythm. See, Muggsy's got to take the shot.
One too many. Bulls with an opportunity for the lead with a minute 33. Hawkins is going to guard Jordan. Pippen with 5 fouls is running things.
They can't fall asleep on Pippen now.
10 to shoot. Kukoc should have taken a shot, tried to hit Jordan out of bounds off Charlotte with 4 on the shot clock.
Now be careful here. They're going to call a 20-second timeout. Boy, look at Michael up in Luke Longley's face right now, letting him know he's not happy with that last play.
That's what Michael Jordan brings. You talked about the beginning about the statistical differences, but Michael Jordan brings the leadership. He, as he told you in your first game coaching the Bulls, I won't let you lose.
Well, he's not going to go down easy. I will know that.
If you're not excited about this, you need a transfusion. Chicago and Charlotte tied at 92. Bulls called a timeout. The Bulls will inbound with only 4 seconds on the shot clock, a minute 18 in the game.
Keep your eye on Michael Jordan. He'll fake out and he'll reverse. They can't let him go for the lob. And then B.J. Armstrong coming off the screen.
Pippen from long range. Air ball. Bogues. Shot clock violation, so they'll just give it to Charlotte sidelines out of bounds. Still tied at 92. Bulls couldn't get it done with 4 seconds left.
Scottie Pippen has never gotten rhythm in this game. Foul trouble has really knocked him out. And it's been a real hard night for him. He had no shots in the first half, came out, got going a little bit in the second half, got 2 quick fouls, and has been on the bench for the majority of the game. Now again, Muggsy Bogues, I still believe, is going to have to make an open jump shot here in this last minute for Charlotte if they're going to win.
Bulls doubling off Bogues, tied at 92. Minute to play. Looking for Mourning. He has 5 fouls. There's the double team. Here's Bogues. He's open. Will he make it? No. Way off. Air ball, Bulls ball. And you're right. He's got to hit the shot.
I said that going into this series. They're going to double off him, and they're going to make him make jump shots. I think you've got to diagonal him through and get him out of there and bring a shooter to the top of the floor.
Bogues, high in the league, leading in steals and in assists. Only scores 11 a game. He's only 2 for 8 in this one. 47 seconds, tied at 92. Looking for Longley against Mourning, who has 5 fouls.
That's where championship teams execute right here.
Mourning with the block. That's 7 blocks in the game for Mourning. 32 seconds remaining.
That was a bad shot by Luke Longley. Leaned in with the left hand, never got on balance. Muggsy Bogues has got to get out of this play. Diagonal through, put a shooter at the top of the floor. Now you've got Mourning there. Let him shoot the ball.
He has 3 threes. Not this time. No, the Bulls went for the ball. The Bulls let the ball go. Timeout, Charlotte. Nobody went for the loose ball. Charlotte called timeout with possession and 13.9 seconds left, and the playoffs have begun in Charlotte. 13.9 seconds remaining in regulation, tied at 92. A loose ball on a missed Alonzo Mourning shot was not run down by the Bulls. Charlotte corralled it, called timeout with 13-9. Neither team has scored since there was just under 2 minutes in the game. Doug, what are we going to see from Charlotte?
Well, I'm a little surprised Muggsy Bogues is going to stay on the floor because he is going to have to make a jump shot. They're not going to let Curry or Hawkins shoot the ball. Now, Charlotte is 17-7 on the offensive boards, which has given them 8 more free throws in the game. So if they win the game, it will be the offensive boards and the offensive rebound and the free throw line. I'm really surprised Muggsy Bogues is in the game right now. I know he's their leader, but if they go in the post and they get the double team, they're going to make him make the shot.
Delay of game warning against Chicago to get a look at what Charlotte is about to do. Bogues only 2 of 8 in the game. He's missed 3 of his last 4 shots, 13.9 to go. Bogues with the ball.
The last one he shot, he did not shoot with any kind of confidence at all. Now, they want to make sure they get the last shot here. They do not want to give Chicago any opportunity at all.
4 seconds. 3. Bogues doesn't get it. Pippen rebound. Timeout. 7/10 of a second. Once again, Doug, it's easy to see from our side, but you're right. Muggsy Bogues, not a threat. He's missed 3 of his last 4, not 4 of his last 5. Only 2 for 9 tonight, and a chance there to have a big guard in the game who might have had an opportunity to score.
Well, they were going to try to play screen roll, and what Chicago does, they chase it baseline. Watch BJ get up high on the screen. Right here, he's going to get up high. See, now he says, you're going to go baseline. And Muggsy gets there, and it looks like he's going to turn the corner. Then he gets hung in the air and has to throw a floating shot up at the basket. That's a bad possession by Charlotte, and Muggsy is very upset.
And they are putting 1.1 seconds on the clock. There was 7/10 of a second left when they called timeout, but the call was made at 1.1 seconds. And all that Chicago will have an opportunity to do at that time is to lob it and tip it. You do not have not almost, by rule in the NBA, time to catch and shoot if it's under 3 seconds. 0.3 seconds. So we have 1.1, and the Bulls will, I guess, have an opportunity to get a shot.
They'll get a shot.
I would think that maybe Michael Jordan might have it.
Well, what you want to do is, if at all possible, you would love for them to have to pass the ball out toward mid-court. Don't let them advance the ball up the side or throw directly into the post. Probably switch on any screen up or down to try to take away the catch. But if you can get them going out towards half court, then what you have to do is shoot a desperation shot. You cannot foul, obviously, and you must put good pressure on the inbound passer.
Could be looking at overtime with 1.1 seconds remaining in the game. Time for a catch and shoot by Chicago. Longley, Kukoc, Pippen, and Jordan onto the floor.
This would be poetic justice, wouldn't it, if Scottie Pippen threw it into Tony Kukoc, or maybe it's Tony going to throw it into Scottie. Remember the playoffs last year against New York.
Wingate on the floor with Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Hersey Hawkins, and Bogues.
Now, do they have a delay of game here? I don't remember they've got a delay of game. They're going to back off. I don't like this because they're putting no pressure on the passer at all. He can stand there and just pick you apart.
Kukoc, long shot. Oh, Pippen almost had the tip. The buzzer goes. We'll have overtime in Charlotte, tied at 92.
Would this shot have counted by Pippen? That's an awful long 1.1 seconds.
No kidding.
Watch this. He catches it, gets it back. Tony shoots it. See if the red light goes off. Well, that was way after the horn. That would not have counted. He saw the red light there, so that would not have counted.
We'll be back with 5 minutes of overtime from Charlotte right after this.
25%. AT&T True Savings. Save 25% to anybody.
Your true voice.
5 minutes of overtime from Charlotte. The Bulls are 1-5 in overtime this year. Hornets are 1-4 in overtime, and this is what you have in the 5 minutes. 3 full timeouts and 1:20 for each team, and there are 3 fouls before you shoot it, so they have 2 fouls to give. On the third, the penalty becomes in effect. It's tied at 92. Michael Jordan has 38.
When you watch that last couple minutes of the game, neither team scored on their last 4 possessions. I don't know if it was good defense, bad offense, or both, but the thing that was always the trademark of the Chicago Bulls was in the last 2 minutes of the game in their championship years, they made the big plays.
Longley, Mourning jumping it. Bogues still in the game. We're not on Muggsy Bogues, it's just that he doesn't make the perimeter shot, and they're leaving him open for it to double off of it.
Well, they're going to double once again. BJ is going to come down, and it's going to be Muggsy Bogues right at the top. I hate to beat a drum, but he's got to make that shot.
Not going down. He's 2 for 10 in the game tonight. Has missed 5 of his last 6. Kukoc to Jordan. Big bucket from Michael. He has 40 points in his first playoff game of 1995. Bulls by 2, 4:25 to go in overtime.
See, now it becomes a mental thing with Muggsy Bogues. Every time they leave him open, he's got to be able to pull the trigger.
Gaddison dished it to Alonzo Mourning. He was fouled by B.J. Armstrong. only 2 on B.J. Armstrong. Remember, Pippen has 5 fouls, and the man at the free throw line, Alonzo Mourning, also carrying 5 fouls.
See, Alonzo Mourning's a guy who gets to the free throw line a lot during the season. He shot 644 free throws at 76%.
Only 2 for 5 tonight. It's listed. 3 for 6.
Execution in playoff games. The scores get under 100 points. Free throws become big. Turnovers. Every opportunity you must cash in on. And you saw, Bob, that neither team was able to do anything in the last couple minutes of the regulation.
Mourning misses it. Longley rebounds it. To the Bulls by 1. They could go up by 3.
They'll add up.
Or more on this possession. There's that triangle. Over to Jordan. Longley gives it to Kukoc for 3. Pippen keeps it alive, but Mourning controls for Charlotte. Alonzo with 12 rebounds and 29 make it 30 points in the game.
Well, that would have been a big 3 by Kukoc. That would have put him up 2 possessions. Still a lot of time to play.
Kukoc only a 30% shooter out there from three-point land. Alonzo Mourning in trouble. 4 seconds. 3, 2. Johnson all alone. Gaddison found him.
That's Larry Johnson's first score in a long time. He's really been out of the offense. They've tried to post him, and the Bulls have just doubled him and took it out of his hands, and Muggsy's been the one getting the shot.
First basket for Larry Johnson since early in the 3rd quarter. Hornets by 1. 10 on the shot clock. Longley. Jump hook. Rattles home. Mourning playing with 5 fouls. Bulls by 1.
Alonzo's got to be very careful not to pick up a silly foul. He's got to stay in this game if they're going to win.
You sure you're ready to get back into this?
I'm having fun right now.
Alonzo Mourning, there's the double team. Open man again is Bogues. Larry Johnson kicks it back out to Hawkins. 3 on the shot clock. Shoot it. 1. Somebody got a piece of it. Jordan did. Bulls. Pippen on the run. He may go all the way. To Kukoc for the jam. See, that's a big bucket for Chicago. It gives them the 3-point lead with 2:34 to go, and Charlotte gets timeout.
You know what happened, Bob? Charlotte stopped playing. They thought it was a shot clock violation, and Scotty had already had possession. He came blowing out of there, and they get a fast break. Big play to put him up 3.
2:34 remaining in overtime at Charlotte.
I thought I was smart. I paid less for another protectant. It said it shined like Armor All, so I figured it protected like Armor All too. But it didn't.
Armor All provides superior protection against car vinyl discoloration.
For this, baby, I'm only using Armor All.
Listen, this stuff that we make, it's powerful. It makes you powerful. Stuff that we make, it's power. Take it. Listen. Gather up your ideas, run with it. It makes you powerful. Just do something amazing. We're in your corner, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do. Stuff that we make, listen, listen, listen.
In the preseason, my back hurts. My arms hurt. My legs hurt. My brain hurts. Even my teeth hurt. But come the regular season, it's all worthwhile. 'Cause I get to hurt right back.
Sometimes with my asthma attacks, I get chest congestion too.
For Lori's problem, there's Primatene Dual Action tablets. They open up clogged breathing tubes and then start relieving the congestion. For effective relief, try Primatene Dual Action tablets.
I'll set it. 98-95, Chicago up by 3. Charlotte thought there was a shot clock violation. As we replay this, listen, you'll hear the horn, but Chicago had the ball first.
Well, watch now. The horn right there. And Charlotte sort of stopped playing, and when they did, Pippen just kept going, and he got the score. So that's a big play. You stop on the whistle, not on the horn.
Muggsy Bogues with the ball. 14 on the shot clock. Hornets down by 3.
See, Hersey Hawkins not looking for his shot at all, and they've tried to post Larry Johnson. Now they stepped him off the block.
Timeout called by Pippen as he fell, and it's a 20.
See, I tell you, I would lobby so much against that rule. When a guy's falling down, falling out of bounds, I know they say, boy, smart play, smart thinking, but he's out of control. He's got no place to go. I just don't believe you should be given a timeout in that play.
Larry Johnson, if he's out here, not nearly as dangerous as on the block.
Well, they run him off the post because they're getting him the ball in there, and he's double teaming, and they're leaving Muggsy Bogues for the shot. Muggsy took about the last 4 shots, so, nothing with Muggsy Bogues. They're forcing him to take that shot, so Charlotte has got to do something, maybe get Hawkins a shot, Mourning a shot. Right now they're going to the same thing all the time, and Chicago's locked in on it. They're double teaming the ball on the right block, and they've got their rotation set.
Chicago playing like 5 against 4. Charlotte's last 7 possessions, only 1 point. They're 0 for 6 from the floor. 2 minutes remaining. Michael Jordan tongue out. Off the glass, Michael. It's a 5-point Bulls lead. 2 minutes to go in the game. Michael Jordan, 42 points tonight. Open inside is Gaddison, and Pippen had to foul him. That's his 6th. He is out of the game, but the Bulls have the 5-point lead before Pippen has to sit down. How about the substitution here?
Well, you got to go with the defender. I'd probably come in with Pete Myers. There's a replay, and Scotty with the foul. It was a long night for Scotty. He just never could get any kind of rhythm because of fouls, but the frightening thing, one thing I talked about the other night is what Michael Jordan can give you is in one night, he can come in with a 40-plus night and steal the home court advantage. And if they hold on to win this game, he's sitting on 42 points out of the 100 for Chicago, so he would count for 42% of their offense in a road game and take the home court right away from you. That's the impact of a player of his magnitude. That's what you always worry about when you play against him is, what's this guy going to do tonight? Now, the free throw shooting, when Mourning missed one earlier, Gaddison missed one late in regulation, and now he misses one in overtime, so they've missed 3 of their last 5 free throws, and they're down 5 points.
And 0 for 6 on the field goals. Kerr is in because the Bulls, it's a wise substitution. Phil Jackson wanted an offensive player in because he knew the Bulls would have the ball, and of course Kerr, a good ball handler, except there he picked up his dribble in the backcourt.
He double dribbled, he got away with it.
Bulls by 5. Inside Longley by 7.
Now you want to talk about execution? That's the difference right there. Michael Jordan making either the shot or the play, but Steve Kerr got away with a double dribble in the backcourt that they did not see.
Bulls on an 8-0 run. Jordan with the no-look to the 7-foot 2-inch Luke Longley. Timeout, Charlotte.
Hi, I'm Cam Neely. Welcome to my workout. Let's start with a little scrimmage. Oh, come on. 1 and 2. Keep those elbows down. Remember to breathe. Now you want to get yourself right in front of the net. You know you're doing it correctly if you feel it right back in here. Let's head to the gym. Move those legs. Come on. Pump it. Pump it. Stay with me. Breathe. Back to the ice. Now for a really good workout, try playing against a future Hall of Famer like Ray Bork. If you don't have a Ray Bork, just use whatever you have around the house.
I'll be right back.
By 7 with only 1:31 to go. Jordan with 42 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and stand by right after this one. We're going to San Antonio. Ron Thule and Hubie Brown standing by for Denver, the 8th seed, versus number 1 seed San Antonio in the West. That's game 1, round 1 out there. Jordan has been there tonight, and particularly the execution down the stretch. And the Charlotte Hornets are 0 for 6 from the floor in the last 3 minutes.
They really have not gotten the shots they've wanted because they've tried to go to post-ups, and Chicago's run out of them with a double team.
And Muggsy Bogues once again with the ball. Back to Johnson. That's a 3. Jordan with the rebound. That's 9.
See what's happened is Scottie Pippen came in, had an off night, and with Michael's greatness, they're going to steal this game. And you know what they've done? They've stolen the life right out of the Hornets. That's Michael with the tomahawk dunk. So 9 rebounds and 8 assists, and a partridge in a pear tree.
104-95, Bulls by 9. Minute to go in overtime. It's over. The Bulls are going to take the home court advantage away from the Charlotte Hornets here. Mourning jams it back in, but it's too little too late. Under a minute to go. Mourning has 32 points tonight and 12 rebounds. the perimeter game, meaning the play of the big three of Kukoc, Jordan, and Pippen, outshined the inside game of the Charlotte Hornets in this game, but primarily it's been the devastating play of Michael Jordan, flirting with a triple-double, 44 points in his opening playoff game of 1995. We said he had 17 games to get ready. Would he be ready for the playoffs?
Well, he's ready, but you know what? People watching this game, Chicago is beatable. I think they've shown that tonight. Now, you're going to have to knock them out, and you're going to have to beat them 4 times in a best of 7, as Michael now with 46.
Ho, ho, ho. Bulls by 9, 30 seconds to go. What a performance. It's worth the price of admission, Doug. The price we paid for our ticket. Curry for 3. Jordan, by the way, 8 points. Didn't miss in overtime, 4 out of 4.
See, now the question you have is, you're Charlotte, okay? Now you got to play Sunday afternoon. And you had a chance to steal this game tonight. You had the last shot of the game to win it, and you lose this game.
With 13.9 left, they had an opportunity.
Now you've got to come back on Sunday, and you've got to gather your troops, and you've got to be able to win to extend this series, and now you got to go to Chicago. That's why in a best of 5, that first game is so important. That road team comes in, they win, and not only they seize the game, but they sort of take the life out of you.
47 for Michael.
This building will be much quieter on Sunday than it was tonight.
In 2 games, we've televised 4. I have 4 of Michael's return games since he came back. In 2, 1 at Madison Square Garden and 1 here. I've seen him score 103 points in those 2 games. 8 seconds left in this game. The Bulls are going to get away with the win, 107-100. Michael Jordan was the man, as everybody expected him to be. And the bad news also for Charlotte is Scottie Pippen had an off night. He'll probably be back and throwing up some points, and you're going to have to deal with him when they play on Sunday. That game, by the way, will be on NBC. Craig Sager with Michael Jordan.
Well, Michael, everybody wondered, can the Bulls turn it up a notch in the playoffs? You had to take over with Scottie in foul trouble.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect it. I'm dead tired. But I think Scottie being out, Tony got in a real foul trouble. I took a lot of shots, but I just had to do what I had to do to get this team to a victory. I mean, we did a lot of communicating out there. We didn't play the type of basketball we want to play, but you know, in the playoffs, you just got to scrap till you get a win.
You're so competitive. This is like a war to you. Coming in at the game, I asked to talk to you. You said you can't hear me.
Yeah, you know, I was focused. You know, coming home is a lot of distractions. You know, it's a lot of family you got to try to get tickets for. But, you know, I was able to shake that off, get out here and play basketball, even though I'm tired now. But it makes me feel good that we won a ball game. But we have to go back to practice because we don't want to play this type of basketball in the playoffs because you can't win consistently doing that.
An overtime game, does that make you feel that perhaps the Bulls are beatable?
Well, without Scottie Pippen, we certainly are. You know, but I think with Scottie Pippen in the ball game, to give us a better, you know, feel, a better team, a little bit more offensive explosiveness. And you know, with myself, I just try to do what I could to keep this team alive.
Well, welcome back, and welcome back to where it all began, Carolina.
Well, it's good to be home.
Okay, back to you, Bob.
Michael Jordan played 47 minutes into this overtime, scored 48 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. He was 18 of 32, and the Bulls go up 1-0 over Charlotte. And Michael Jordan is our Budweiser player of the game. Back to wrap it up after this.